Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to another Wizard101 video, and today I finally got enough ingredients as well as enough time to craft the Baba Yaga's focused mace. Now, many people do know about these weapons already, and I am kind of late, around maybe a year, almost a year, maybe even more than half a year. But as you can see here, I finally got enough ingredients in order to craft the Baba Yaga's focused mace. And I can actually craft any focused weapon right about now. But I chose the focused mace because although it really isn't too special among the other weapons, it does have a certain kind of quality look to it. I mean, in and of itself, it is a wand, and probably the only wand, I might add. But not mostly because it's a wand, but because Myth was my first school that I started with, and quite honestly, it's the only school I really prefer. Because although it might be challenging, I find the Myth school pretty good in terms of hitting as well as defending, supporting, basically all those elements. They can do that. They're very versatile. Their health is pretty decent, I might add, though they can take quite an amount of hits as well as deal it back. They're not deaf, but they're not the deaf school, but they can take quite a number of hits and dish it back, as I've said. However, as you can see here, again, I've gotten all the ingredients. So, for the Aether Ore, I just went to the inner and outer Anther, as you'll see. And I just basically rushed in there and just gathered all these Aether Dust. And it takes about 15 Aether Dust in order to create the Aether Ore. Or sometimes you might get lucky and get a rare harvest which contains the Aether Ore. And sometimes, if not, maybe around 30% of the Aether Dust I gather, I usually get one Aether Ore, and that's really what happened. Or if you feel lazy, you could buy at the bazaar if you're lucky, I mean. Because many people are after these ingredients just because of the rarity in terms of the stats on these. If you look at the stats, they're pretty stacked. I mean, you got double jewel sockets, you got the fishing luck, and then you got the energy on top. Who does not want these ones? They're very good, alright? So, for the Shining Scales, if you look in my other video on how to get bundle items for free, you'll also find that you can get Shining Scales a lot easier at the Acropolis than any other house, or basically any pawn besides the Acropolis. It's the easiest place, guys, trust me. Now for the Shocked Keys, however, it's a different story. It can come from any silver chest in any world, but the easiest place I've collected them along with the Aether Ore would be the inner or the outer Anther, which is located in Imperia for those who do not remember the area, but it's quite easy to get these as long as you're very determined to. I have not seen these in the bazaar. I'm thinking they might be no auction, but I'm not entirely too sure. So that's how I got them, from the silver chests in Imperia. Next would be the Flying Squid Ink. Now, the Flying Squid Ink took me quite a bit of time. It is time consuming, I might add, because it only comes from Imperia, and sometimes creatures or mobs might not drop it. I have only gotten these Flying Squid Inks from bosses or elite creatures. The most popular place to get Flying Squid Ink would be the Secret Tunnel. And that place is also an area to get the Kabbalist gear. And in doing so, getting these 54 squid inks, I've accumulated about 3 sets of each of the 7 schools. So, moreover, I've gotten tons of Kabbalist gear farming the secret tunnel than I do have squid ink, which is pretty ironic, I would say, because the only school gear that I haven't really gotten would be... Actually, the only piece of gear I haven't gotten would be the Myth Kabbalist hat. But not to get sidetracked, the next thing we're gonna see here would be the participation trophy. And the participation trophy was also time consuming, but I would say it's the most difficult of all these ingredients, just because you either have to do PvP in order to get arena tickets, or you can do the daily assignments on the 5th, the 10th, and the 15th day in hopes of getting a participation trophy. And it's pretty time consuming also, but if you do PvP and you like to do PvP and you have tons of arena tickets, then it's really no sweat to you, I guess. But for other people that aren't PvP ready and they don't have the stats or the pets for it, they basically don't have the barrier to entry for it, they can do tournaments also. It is the fastest way to get arena tickets. However, even when doing tournaments, you have to compete with other people's in terms of stats, and basically you have tons of barriers to entry in order to be competitive in PvP as well as in the tournaments, which makes it basically pretty hard to get these participation trophies unless you do basically the daily assignments. And the last thing here would be Baba Yaga's Mace, which is really not much of a hard thing to craft, although I will say that there are some ingredients that I do understand that may be hard, such as the antiquities, but since Mirage has been nerfed quite a bit, as well as the level cap has been raised, there have been less and less people in Mirage, and more and more people in Imperia. So that would pretty much help you if you haven't gotten the antiquity or crafted this wand in the first place. I do recommend that people craft these wands because eventually we're going to get to the next level, which is around maybe 135. And in the next world, new crafting gear is going to come out, and you probably need the new crafting level. Or the crafting title, I might add. Well, that was a pretty long explanation, but you guys came here to see me craft the focus mace, so I might as well craft it. Here we go. Oh my gosh, that is... I'm not gonna lie, it does feel it makes you have a sinking feeling down in your stomach a little bit, that you wasted all these ingredients on a wand. But you might notice that this wand is pretty good, alright? It does feel like you got ripped off a little bit. I mean, it's just a little wand. But if we take a look at it, it's pretty special because it has little sparkles coming out. And the original Baba Yaga mace didn't have these sparkles, or it didn't have any particles at all coming out. But as you can see here, there are particles coming out. The other ones that I have to mention here would be the Xanders and the... What was that death one? Kisma, I think? Kisma's and the Xander's focused wands are pretty good looking. I mean, you can actually see their particles very clearly. Compared to the focused mace, which feels kinda cheapened a little bit. I mean, it's just a mace. But nonetheless, it is a focused one, and it does have the stats to par and impress you quite a bit. I mean, look at these stats. How can you say no to these? Except maybe the critical. but besides that, there are quite a number of special stats, I might add. So we're gonna see what Ignis says. Maybe, I'm not exactly too sure what he gives us for crafting the focused wands, but I do remember that he gives us, I think he gives us a Grandmaster socket wrench, I believe? Or he gives us 2 of those Grandmaster socket wrenches. But we'll see in quite a little bit. Alrighty guys, here we are at Ignis's Forge, or Ignis's Hall, and we're gonna turn in the quest.
Now, ain't that a prize weapon? Look at it shine! It's a fickle thing, that Forge of Legends, that's for sure. But listen to me blather on when there's work to be done. Thanks for helping an old man with his research, Wizard. I'm proud to induct you into the ranks of the Revered Crafters.
Wow, there we go, guys. We got an extra crafting slot, as well as 30,000 gold, the Revered Crafter rank, and the Grandmaster Socket Wrench. That's all I have to say about this video, guys. And for those of you that haven't crafted the focus wands, I know I'm a bit slow on this, but I do hope that you find the determination to craft it someday, and you'll know that you can do it. Even though it may be difficult, it may be time consuming, you can do it. I'm out, guys. Peace.